I know in the last few years, a lot of the guys have gone the tour bus route. And man, I
Hmm.
tell you, I wish I'd been ahead of the game back then when I was on the road. It just sounds like a great way to get a little rest as far as your body's concerned, get down the road, and the comfort of a big ass bus. Now,
Right.
have you gone down the tour bus road yet?
No, no, I have not. And quite frankly, it would be very, very difficult for me to do it because the tour bus is very, very expensive. And like, I've only made good money like the last 2 years. You know what I mean?
I get
It's
you.
like,
I get
you know,
you.
like Randy Orton and John Cena and those guys have been making money for years. Even like CM Punk, he's been making money for several years. Big Show's been making money since I was in high school, since before like I was in high school. I think he started in WCW as a main eventer. His first match ever was in a pay-per-view main event. So, I mean, those guys have been making money for years, and so they can afford a bus. For me, it's just not financially viable right now. It's still like a couple of years down the road because I would need X amount of savings. I'm very logical in my spending, you know, like
I like to do that.
so I'm not going to spend all the money on the bus until I know I'm financially secure enough to spend that kind of money. So, like, I look at it and I envy those guys every single day. Like, getting done with the show, okay. Like, Randy Orton takes better care of himself than probably any wrestler in history due to the fact that he has this bus. So, like, he does real thorough warm-ups and everything before his match and all that kind of stuff. But the nice thing for him is that after he's done with his match, he ices, he goes and sits on the bus as the bus driver's driving, he's stretching and that sort of thing, and then he falls asleep. And Randy will tell you, he sleeps like 8 to 10 hours a night. And I'm like, what? How do you do that on the road? And then it's clear, he's got a bus.
Hey, well, first of all, when you say Randy Orton takes care of himself like that, I wouldn't picture him, and you know, the guy's got a great look, physique, body, a hell of a worker, but I wouldn't picture Randy as being so scientific and the way he takes care of his body. How long has he been doing that?
I think for a couple of years, and I think ever since he had some really bad shoulder issues and stuff like that, and he kept kind of getting hurt. And so he really went in and was proactive about it. And so now, like, because he has something with his shoulders where they keep coming out of place or whatever, something like that. So he makes sure that he really went and found the cause of that and is attacking the cause of that. And like, how do I make my career last as long as possible? Well, I need to be doing this, and I need to be doing this, and I need to be doing this. And so, you know, if you've had any dealings with Randy, you know that he has quite a temper, and one of the things that he gets angry about is if he's rushed and can't do his warm-up stuff, because for him that's very important. He gets concerned about like his shoulder and all that kind of stuff if he's not properly warmed up. And I just think, man, that's such a different train of thought than wrestling must have been 20 years ago.
Well, it's changed, but you know, first I remember back in the day, just going back a couple of years, I saw Randy taking a couple of pretty spectacular over-the-top rope bumps where he kind of missed the top ropes, and I saw some of those shoulder injuries, and you know, that was him trying to you know, make an impact and get a pop. But, you know, with a worker of his caliber no longer needs to do that. So you got to pick your spots. And, you know, going back to the fact that you're managing your money, I mean, you couldn't just show up in a crappy camper. It's got to be the Mac Daddy if you're going to do